Hey guys, back for question number 2. Is it a sin to participate in or watch organized boxing or MMA events or sparring? So, this is a great question. I love it. I think the reason why it's difficult to answer this question off the bat, like in the sense of like, is it sin? I'm going to first off and say no, but let me explain why it's difficult. The Bible never condones extreme violence. It doesn't. Also, those who may make the argument, it's like every time there is extreme violence, it's used sacrificially in some form, like the crucifixion, for example, or things like that. There's never a condoning of extreme violence, especially not for sport. Actually, in Genesis, we see God saying he's going to flood the earth because of its violence, right? So there's this argument behind violence. There's also another argument behind sport and what that entails, right? Because in places Paul is saying, run your race, and he's equating it to the Olympics, which in that time even boxing was a part of the Olympics. And so, but where are we going with these arguments is my question. I think it comes down to where we really need to focus ourselves as Christians to this question is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. So I'm going to turn there as well if you want to join me. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, where it says, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God." And this was a verse that a late and great preacher by the name of Charles Spurgeon had used in regards to himself smoking cigars. He'd gotten letters from all over the world saying, like, please, Pastor Spurgeon, like, stop smoking cigars. You're setting such a poor example to these young kids. And he got letters from everywhere, people calling him a heretic because he's smoking a cigar, this or that. And again, this isn't about smoking. It's not about that. But I think the concept remains the same in his answer, where he said, because of the grace of God, I smoke a cigar to the glory of God. And I fall in that same place. I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner. I love mixed martial arts. I love watching boxing and these things as well. I'm not there because I'm like, yeah, I just love the violence and it's some bloodlust or something like that. If that's you, I would love to sit you down. Let's have a conversation about that, because I think there might be some problematic things with your walk with the Lord and maybe even some understanding of the Bible. But I see it as, because of the grace of God, I get to do this. Like for me, jiu-jitsu, a lot of it is understanding the mechanics of my body and being able to see these things and in watching the sport, seeing the actual sport behind these guys' movements and stuff. But whatever we're doing, do it all to the glory of God. And so I think that's the key concept here. I don't think as Christians we're to be pragmatic in the sense of like, well, it gives me an opportunity to share the gospel. Well, yes, that's the same for someone drinking at a bar or something like that. Like, you will have opportunity to evangelize. You don't need to be pragmatic in that sense of like, well, this is my opportunity. It's like, no, maybe you just enjoy this. It's okay to enjoy things as a Christian and it not be sin, as long as it's able to glorify God in that sense. Hope that helps you.
Thank you so much for joining us, whether online or in person. We pray that the ministry of Calvary San Diego is encouraging you in your faith. If you would like to follow along with what we are doing or hear more teachings, you can do so by downloading the Calvary SD mobile or TV app. Also, if you would like to partner with us and worship through giving, you can do so at calvarysd.com/give. Thanks for tuning in.